Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to style the P tag inside of a CSS file. Okay, so we're going to create a new CSS file really fast, and we're just going to override the one I had before. Alright, so we have a nice little CSS file here, and what we're going to be working with today is the P tag. Now the P tag is one of the most common ones to use when you're working with CSS. This is going to have all your paragraph text inside of it, and this, by working with it like this, is just going to define the paragraph for all, or the paragraph styling for all the paragraphs on your page. You can set up classes or IDs to set custom styling, which I'll cover in later tutorials, but for now we're just going to work with one size fits all styling. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is use our font shorthand here. And shorthand basically keeps us from having to type in font style, font weight, font variant, font family, font size, time, or line height. So it keeps us from having to type 10,000 different things. We can type it all in one line, and it has to go in this order: font style, font variant, font weight, font size, / line height, and then our font family. Okay, the font style would be for something like italics. Font variant would be for like small caps. Font weight would be for bold. Font size and line height, we'll use those. It's pretty self-explanatory for that. And then font family is the type of text that you see here on our screen. Alright, so I'm going to be using I'm going to skip the font style, the font variant, and the font weight because we don't need to italicize, small caps, or bold any text. We're just strictly going to be using the font size, which I'll set at 22 pixels so you guys can see everything real nice and easy. And I'm going to set our line height to 180%. It's a nice line height to choose, and then I'm going to choose a Georgia font here, font family. Okay, close it off with a semicolon, you're good to go. So we just put all our font stylings in one line, makes it look nice, clean, even, neat, instead of having 10,000 different things typed in our P attribute tag here for styles. Okay, so the next thing you might want to do is change the color of the text from the generic black. I'm not a big fan of black. I do like the gray. Alright, the gray on white is a little easier on the eyes after sitting at a computer for a long time. Also, if you apply this correctly, you get a very nice Web 2.0 theme going on with the gray text and the kind of white background with the borders and things like that and drop shadows. It looks really nice. So we'll use a gray color for our text. Okay, and we are going to save this with Control S and open up our index page. Alright, and this is how you link an external style sheet into your HTML file. The best way to do this is if you are working on a large site or a large project. I would use a PHP include here to include the file that would have multiple style sheets and things like that all at once, so you don't have to type them in each and every time. Alright, so basically if you notice, you need the rel for style sheet, and then this is where it's located, styles, and it's called styles.css. If you notice, I don't have a type here, which would normally be type text/CSS. We don't need that in HTML5 anymore, so I don't put it. Okay, so we're going to come down here to our body tag, and we're going to create a paragraph. And I am lazy, so I'm going to put lorem ipsum text in there and save. Okay, let us view this file now. Just simply hit your F12 key, and it'll open up the browser you have set to open. In my case, Firefox. And you see here we have this nice gray 22 font size, or 22 pixel font size, 180% line height text here, and that's just the bare bones basics of doing it this way. Let's add some padding because if you notice there's no padding. I'll add a border so that you can see what I'm talking about by there being no padding. Okay, save that, come back here and refresh. Alright, so if you see here when I said padding, there's the border's always there invisibly, but your text is not padded by default. You need to add a padding. It lays right up against the line, so we need to put some padding in there, and I'll generally do about 10 pixels or so. It tends to give it a nice effect. Alright, and then let us refresh. Alright, so now you can see we have padding inside of our box here. And the padding, again, is a shorthand property. You could do it like this, and then each side would have a different padding. As you can see, it changed a little bit there, but we don't want to do that. We wanted to define it just for all four sides at once, because you could type padding top, padding bottom, padding left, padding right. Well, we did that right here: padding top, padding left, right, bottom, and yeah, top, right, bottom, left. I'm sorry. So this would be the top, this would be the right, this would be the bottom, this would be the left. It's a little confusing, so I don't ever use this ever. I always just either use one number, or if you can use three numbers, it's pretty simple. You got your top, your right and left, and your bottom, or two numbers. You have your top and bottom, left and right. Okay, but we'll just use one number because that's generally all you're ever going to use. Alright, so we'll go back to that and make sure that looks good here. Okay. As far as margins, you're never hardly going to use margins inside of the P tag, just for the simple fact that you should be using the margins on the element that wraps your P tag, so the div that wraps all your content, or the section that wraps all your paragraphs. Use the margins on those. Don't waste it on the P tags. Alright, and P tags by default automatically have a line break in between them, so you don't need to set a margin top or bottom or anything like that. But it's not that you can't use it, it's just generally you won't need to. Okay, so we talked about the padding, we talked about the border. If you notice, I'm using actually several shorthand methods here. The font's shorthand, the border's a shorthand, the padding's a shorthand. It just makes things go much faster. Alright, and I think that's really about it. Quick little HTML tip here: if you guys want to put a style directly into your HTML document for the P tag, just simply do a span tag and then do style, and then we can put color as blue or whatever, and then we can come here, close that off, save, and now basically what we did, we put an inline style in our page. Instead of being external, it's inline with our content here, and allows us to change the color of just this text right here to blue. Alright, and we'll view that, and as you can see here, our text is now blue while everything else stays gray. You can use inline styles without problems, but generally if you can do it in an external sheet, it's better to do so because it keeps your HTML code less cluttered. But there are definite situations where you need an inline style, or you can put it directly in the head of the document without having an external sheet. It's up to you. Alright, that's about it for this lesson. If you guys need help, comments, questions, don't hesitate to ask on the video. And you can also visit us on the web at www.pbswebdesign.com and click on our tutorial link. Alright guys, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.